All right, we are recorded, so we're going to begin the training session. I'd like to introduce Rick Lafria. Rick, if you would like to come on and speak, and if you're having any issues, I'll make sure I can turn on your credentials so that you're able to join and present.
Sure, David, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Rick Lafria. I'm the Executive Director here at the Greater Merrimack Valley Convention Visitors Bureau, and thank you for attending today's training with David from SimpleView. We believe that this online software will make your ability to work with us easier and more effective by allowing you to access to review all your records online, including RFPs, and read and respond to important events and receive important communications. You'll also have the access to update your online listing that feeds directly into our app here, and build special offers, review and update your photos of your location or services. So thank you for participating today and tuning in later to view our partner portal training. Thank you. David?
Thank you so much. All right, well, let's jump right in and start to talk about this amazing tool that the Greater Merrimack Valley team has provided to you, and we'll get right into it. So today's presentation is going to be a combination of live presentation and also some lecture, so some screenshots and some things to orient you and talk about it. Again, I'm Dave Roberts from SimpleView, and if you have questions, we are going to have time at the end of today's session to answer those. But if you have an urgent question that you need clarification on, there's a chat. Like I said, there's a chat feature with the Google Meet at the bottom, which is the little speech bubble icon. If you click on that, it's rectangular speech bubble. So it's not really a bubble, it's a rectangle, but click on that and that'll give you access. Okay, so what is the Extranet? What is this tool that we've provided for you? So the Extranet, also known as the Partner Portal, it's a private network that uses internet technology to securely share your record information, so your business account record, your contact records, the people, the employees that work at that business, at your property, as well as your listing and other types of records. You're able to access that by accessing the records that are maintained by the Greater Merrimack Valley CRM. So the Greater Merrimack Valley team has a CRM where they manage and maintain these records, and the Extranet lets you access those records. So in other words, you're going to have the ability to log in securely, view your own records, guaranteed access, real-time updates from your records to their system in the CRM and vice versa. So this is a great tool. It's super easy to use. We've got a great user interface. It's accessible from anywhere as long as you have internet access, and it's responsive. So if you're looking on your phone, your tablet, or your PC, the screen is going to automatically size for you and let you have access to view the information. So that's what the Extranet is. It's a tool to let you access those records that are being maintained in the Greater Merrimack Valley CRM, and therefore allow you to see that information and also see the relationship that those records have in displaying on the website that Greater Merrimack Valley maintains and uses to promote your business and the destination in general. How are you going to access this amazing tool? Very simple. You're going to receive an email from the Greater Merrimack Valley team. It's going to look just like this in your inbox. And then you're going to open that email and you're going to see some important information in there. Here's the key information for you to focus on when you open up that email. Your username, that's going to be the email address that Merrimack Valley has on file for you as your contact email address. That's going to be your username. Your temporary password. We have a very highly secure temporary password that we provide to you that you would use in combination with your email address. And that's going to get you into the system initially, and then you'll have to change that password. Now, the other thing that's in this email is that URL that's going to take you to that website where you are able to access the Extranet. And it's really a URL into the system, right? Into this secure system that gives you access to your records. So you're going to want to navigate to that bookmark. Clicking on that hyperlink will take you there. Open up your default browser and take you there, and then bookmark that browser. So just like you see here, that is the URL that was in the email, and you can bookmark that so that you're able to easily access this link to this site through your browser. You're going to enter in that username and that temporary password, and that's going to allow you to log in to the extranet. If you forget your password, there is a forgot your password link right there that allows you to reset your password. What will happen is the system will send you a new temporary password, and then you're going to log in using that temporary password. When you log in with your temporary password, you have to reset your password to something only you know. The team at Greater Merrimack Valley doesn't know what your password is, but they can reset your password for you if you're having trouble logging in. But again, you can self-help here and use that forgot your password link to reset your password and get a new temporary password. All right, so let's see what that looks like a little bit. Here is the live extranet that you're going to be accessing. There's the URL that I've bookmarked. I've already changed my password to a secure password of my own. But again, there's the forgot your password link. So I enter my username, which is my email address, then my password, and I hit login. And now I'm in the extranet. Now, before we move forward and we talk about the rest of the features that are associated to the extranet, let's just talk about navigating this screen. And as you can see, it's a very user-friendly interface. Again, if I was on a tablet or a PC, I would have the ability to, the extranet would be responsive and it would automatically shrink to fit the screen that I'm on. But what are we looking at once we're logged in? So we have this product header at the top. It shows me as the person who's logged into the extranet. I have a logout button here, but it's perfectly okay to just close your browser. That will end your session. The next time you come back to log into the extranet, you'll have to put in your username and password again. So it's okay to close your browser. You don't have to use the logout button, but the logout button works. You'll see a toggle here. This is for those of you that have the wonderful privilege of having multiple businesses in the destination. If that's the case, what the Greater Merrimack Valley can do is set you up with a unified login so you can toggle between your parent and child businesses. So this way you can go from one account to another with this unified login. That way you don't have to log into your, let's say, restaurant account and log out and then log into your barbershop account, right? So just depends. Some people are like that. And so we're going to make it as easy as possible for you to navigate to your relative records. And then you have this incredibly powerful tool. This is going to be a really helpful feature, and I want to point it out. That's the quick search. We're going to actually demonstrate how to use the quick search a little bit later in the training, but that is going to be a great tool, a great value to you, that little magnifying glass tool. All of that is your product header. Then on the left-hand side, we have your sections. These sections, like the home section, are going to show you and display for you specific content. The home module, the home section, shows you the image carousel, your partner bulletins, and a post board that the Greater Merrimack Valley team can use to post posts relative information for you. But we're going to get into all this detail in just a minute. So that's really it. Those are all of the really all of the navigational components. The product header with that quick search, your sections, and your image carousel, partner bulletins. Again, if we're going to navigate and we select a specific section, a slide panel will open, which will allow us to navigate to those areas. All right, so I want to continue with kind of the presentation, and then we're going to come back and demonstrate some more for everyone on the call. Also, just a reminder, if you have questions, you can type into that little rectangular speech bubble at the bottom of the screen, and we will be taking questions at the end of this presentation. So now let's talk about that home screen again. So first, we have the image carousel. The image carousel displays across the top, and as you saw in the live extranet, the image carousel is going to go by. And as it goes by, I want you to notice that there is information. There are titles and text and even links to take you either out to external sources like the website or internally to different areas of the extranet. So it can actually be a reminder to go and look at your amenities, and then you can click on the link, which will take you to the to the profile section where your amenities are located. So don't just watch those pretty images go by. Actually see if you can quickly read that little information component that's a part of it and see if there are any links that Greater Merrimack Valley would like you to explore. Next, we have our partner bulletins. So the partner bulletins are important notices or documentation or anything that Greater Merrimack Valley would want to present to you. So this is going to give you the opportunity to take a look at that information and review it. Now, when you do see a bulletin, and there's a couple things for us to point out specifically about those bulletins. One is you'll notice that some of the bulletins have that exclamation point. When that is present next to the title of that bulletin, that means the Greater Merrimack Valley team has said this is a particularly important bulletin. So they're giving it some emphasis. So if you need to prioritize because you don't have a lot of time to read bulletins and you need to prioritize, I would prioritize your important bulletins first. Next, you'll notice there's a not read statement in parentheses next to the title. That is an indicator that you as a user have not yet read the bulletin and opened it and viewed the contents. When you do select that link, the view full link, it's going to open up that bulletin and let you see. This could be a page, it could be a couple sentences, it could be a lot of different things. It's going to be information that the Greater Merrimack Valley team is providing to you. So once you select that bulletin and view it, now there will be a red receipt next to the bulletin indicating that your user has reviewed this material. Now, if you don't remember what you read, that's okay. The link is still there. The content is still there. You can always open it and review it again. But this will help you, again, prioritize. Oh, I've read that already. I can move on to the next bulletin now that I have time and check out the other news and information. So let's see what that looks like. So here we are inside of the live extranet. My user's logged in, and I can use these carrots to toggle back to the particular image carousel information. And there are the information, and I'm actually able to use this link to connect and link to that map of the trail. Or on this other bulletin, I've got this hiking, walking information, and I can look at the Concord River link to look at that information. And again, continue to monitor this image carousel. There could be a notification to you to review your listing or update your amenities. Or it might be time the deadline for your printed visitor guide content might be approaching. So it might be time to update that printed visitor guide listing record and make sure your content is in and approved, because the Greater Merrimack Valley is going to take that content and then go to print with it. So you don't want to miss the opportunity. So the image carousel could be where they remind you about that. But you also have your partner bulletins. One of the things you can do here with your partner bulletins is you can switch to look at just your documentation or just your notices, or you can see everything. So again, you can filter to prioritize the information you want to pay attention to. And as you can see, although this was an important bulletin that we had in here for my user, I actually already read that earlier today. But here is one that I haven't yet read. So I'm going to click the link to view that article, view that bulletin, and it's going to show me that content. So now that I've read it, I can close it and say, okay, I've absorbed that information. And now, as you can see, the not read statement has been changed into a date, which indicates that I did indeed read that bulletin. So I have caught myself up. I've seen all the bulletins, I've reviewed all the information, and I'm good to go and good to proceed. Right now, the post board is only available to the Greater Merrimack Valley team to put up posts that are taking place within your destination, just stuff, a separate form of information. And this might be something that becomes available in the future for you to use, but that's going to be something we determine. We didn't want to give you too much stuff to start with. We wanted you to be comfortable using the tool as it is in its current state. All right. Now let's talk about the profile section. This is where you're going to access records about your business. So account records, records about your business, contact records, records about your people, your employees at that business. So with the accounts section under the profile section, after you click it and you click on accounts, you're going to be presented with your account name and some actions that you can perform. You're going to see multiple account names if you have access to multiple businesses, but these would be your properties, right? So these are properties you're in charge of. Nobody is looking at anybody else's account record, right? I just want to be clear. You're not accessing a database of all the businesses in Greater Merrimack Valley. You're just accessing your records, your relationship with Greater Merrimack Valley, those records about your business and your employees and your listing, your description of your business. All of those are accessible by you for your business. When you view or edit your property information, you can quickly scroll to that section on the page by clicking the links on the left hand of the page. So these blue links that you see in this image, those will actually take you to that section, and it'll also temporarily highlight that section. This lets you know where you're working within that record or what you're viewing within that record. If you need to edit the record, you're going to have the opportunity to edit and update the record. Now, pay attention because some fields are required while others are voluntary. Really, we want you to fill in all the information on the record, right? We want all the fields filled in. This is the best practice. The more data we have about you, about your business, about your contacts, the more we're able to take advantage of that information to communicate effectively with you. And when I say we, I mean Greater Merrimack Valley, right? The team there is more effective at communicating and finding information that they can use to make sure that the information gets to you. The other section there that under the profile section or the next section are contacts. So these are the people, these are your employees. Now, when you add a contact, if you have the privileges to do so, you're going to want to fill in, again, as much information as possible. If you don't have those privileges, that's okay. You'll work with Greater Merrimack Valley to get those folks added so that they can have access to the extranet as well. So this will be just a simple conversation. You have a new employee, you want them added, or you'll be able to add these yourself depending on your access level. And when you add or edit a contact, please make sure that you not only complete the form out completely, but make sure that you identify if that person is a primary contact or secondary contact, or whatever those designations are for their contact type. Now, the contact type is a special field. It's a required field on the contact form. And one of the things you want to keep in mind is if a contact has left your property, let's say they won the lottery and they come into work and let you know, hey, I won $1 million and I'm going to retire now. And so I'm leaving work as of today. I've tendered my resignation. So we're, happy for them, maybe a little bit envious too, let's be honest, and they're gone. Well, one of the things you want to do is you want to go in and you want to change their contact type to inactive. That's going to not only alert the Greater Merrimack Valley team that that person no longer works for you, but it's going to be a permanent update to that record that allows them, when they're looking at who they could possibly contact at your business, they're going to see that contact with a strike through on the name, and it's going to be an immediate visual indicator that that person no longer works at your business. So even though you're notifying them, even though this is a real-time update to the record, if they ignore those updates and if they don't look at their CRM for a couple of days, once the Greater Merrimack Valley goes and looks at that contact record, there's instant recognition that that person's no longer employed by you or no longer somebody they should reach out to send a service request or a communication to, because they don't work for you anymore. The last section here that you have are your invoices. The Greater Merrimack Valley team has really gone to great lengths to make it as easy as possible for you to know what you owe them and to be able to pay for what you owe. So here in this section, under the profile section, when you click on the invoices, a grid view is going to display of all of your invoices, those that you owe and those that you've paid. You can even filter so that you're only looking at those that you owe. So you don't have to worry about the ones you've paid already. But you can always change those filters to see everything or just see the ones that you paid and vice versa. But you'll notice there's a button there that lets you pay your account balance. Yes, you can print the invoice out, and yes, you can mail in your payment with a check. But the other option is to actually do an electronic payment right through the extranet. So I want to demonstrate these things for you now. So let's look at the profile section in the live CRM. So again, we're going to navigate, in the live extranet. Apologies for the wrong terminology there. We're talking about the extranet. So here we are in the extranet. Again, I'm still logged in. I haven't logged out. And I navigate to the profile section and I select the accounts tab or link. And now I'm looking at my account records in this grid. There are filters here and there are column settings or grid settings here that we can access and update. I'm going to show you that after we talk about the profile section. So then I can either edit the Simple View Test account record. So imagine that this would be your business name, right? The ABC Hotel, the XYZ restaurant, and so on and so forth. But here in the link, I can either view the record by clicking on this link, or I can view the record by clicking on this eyeball icon. And then that's going to let me see all of the details associated. Again, these little links here let me jump to that section, and that section is temporarily highlighted so that it draws your eye to it so you know what you're looking at. If you needed to make an adjustment to the record, you can click Edit, and then you are able to make your adjustment. Update the value there, hit Save, and now that record has been updated. We have updated the content. The Greater Merrimack Valley team has been alerted right now in email that my user has gone in and updated the account details. They'll see that you updated the phone number in this case. That was the field that was updated. So they'll know you made a change there. So now they're aware. And if they look at their record in the CRM, it matches exactly what the content is here. So there's no delay for this information to be updated. You can also access your amenities, those things that provide comfort or convenience to your visitors to your business, or your meeting space. If you have meeting space available and it's available for rent or purchase or use in the course of your day-to-day operation, you can make that information available. And when visitors to the Greater Merrimack Valley are working with Greater Merrimack Valley to try to book meetings and events, they can access through service requests that your property is potentially a good match. And then those service requests can come to you into the opportunity section. But one of the things that Greater Merrimack can do is they can filter their data to show those businesses that have meeting space or have the amenity that that visitor is looking for. So they can either refer people to your business because you have what they're looking for, or they can actually generate an opportunity for you to try to win that piece of business. A family reunion, a wedding, catering opportunity, transportation opportunity, a sign printing opportunity, anything that your business can provide. If Merrimack Valley is aware of that, they can then filter and see who should receive these opportunities based on who is asking, whether it's a leisure traveler or a business operator or a tour operator reaching out, trying to book business in the destination. All right, profile, contacts. Again, you're going to see your employees here in the contacts grid. And again, you can edit the record, you can view the record, you can clone the record. So if you're trying to duplicate Colleen's contact information and then just update the cloned record, you can do that. Maybe not super effective here for cloning, but definitely use cases for cloning are going to exist on other records, like perhaps an event. Let's say you have an event taking place every year at your property. You can look at the old event and clone that record, and then you just have to update the dates and the times so that that's the updated event for the next year. And that way you're saving time. We don't want to make you spend a lot of time here. We know you're busy running your business, so we've made this as easy to access and easy to update as possible. And then last but not least, your invoices. Again, like I said, if we see the invoice that we need to pay, we can view it by clicking on the eyeball, or we can click on the link to the account record, or we can click on the link to the invoice ID number. All of those things are going to let the record show up for us and let us review each of those details. Then you'll notice there's a Pay Now button. So instead of printing and mailing in my check, maybe I just want to go ahead and get out the corporate card and go ahead and make my payment. So if I select Pay Now, I can see the amount, or I can enter the amount that I want to pay and then submit payment. So you are able to change this value and then submit payment. What that's going to do is it's going to take you to another form, a secure location where you can enter in your payment information. So I can fill in the information, enter my payment information, and then complete the transaction. What that's going to do is then automatically update the invoice record as having been paid by the amount that you paid, and that record will be complete. The funds are going to be transferred over to Merrimack Valley within a short amount of time. It's not instant, but it's pretty quick. And then, but of course, what is instant is that the update of the invoice record that you have submitted your payment for processing. So they're going to know that they've received your payment right at that moment, as soon as you had hit submit. Again, there's the old-fashioned way to print it out and then submit your payment with a physical check, or cash if you want to be really dangerous, right? Okay. So that is the profile section, accounts, contacts, invoices, and we're going to get into a little bit more detail now about how you would look at this information in a more effective way for you. So before we go on and we talk about the next section, which is the collateral section, I want to talk about filters and data grids. This is a really powerful feature that lets you customize the extranet for your personal needs. So I'm going to show you how we're going to be able to make some adjustments to the information that we look at in this extranet as an individual user. So everyone can customize the extranet for their own personal workflow, their own personal needs. And when you make these changes, you're only affecting your view when you're logged into the extranet. The two main ways we customize what we see on the screen are by filters and by the customization of the data grid. So I'm going to show you those things. Filters. Again, there is a lot of data associated to your business. For example, all of your employees in your contacts section. So this is a list of all of your employees, even the ones that have won the lottery and have left your business and no longer work for you. They're in that grid. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for you as a user to look at old records or records that are inactive. So what you can do is you can add a filter to show only your primary and secondary contacts. Or if you're looking at service requests, you can look at only those service requests that are open or open bid sent, meaning you have an opportunity to respond to a service request, or you have an opportunity to update a response that you've sent for a service request. And once you add those filters, you can apply them or clear them to see a narrow, focused view or to open up the view to a wider view. Also, just a reminder about all of these action buttons that you see in the grid. In the grid, you typically see those action buttons, the pencil, the eyeball, and the clone icon. The pencil allows you to edit the record. So you know you need to update something on that record. You click the pencil icon and you update that record. The eyeball icon is going to let you view the record. So again, you can click on the eyeball icon to view the record and see all the information that you have saved for that record. But also clicking on the link to the record ID number or the name of that account or that contact or that listing or whatever the record is will also open up the record detail for you to view it. And then that clone button, that double page icon, that lets you duplicate the record. This is really useful for things like events, but there are some use cases where, let's say you're hiring a bunch of employees and they all have the same job and job title and phone number, and everything's the same except for the name and the email address. So then when you clone a contact, you just have to update the cloned contact's name and email address, and everything else is the same. So you're saving yourself a lot of time in duplicating those records. And then finally, there'll be an add button. And when I say add, I mean it's an opportunity to create a record. It's a blue rectangle, and it usually is create new, add offer, add listing, add contact, add account. These are the blue rectangles that if you have permission, that blue rectangle will be there. And that will allow you to open up a new empty form and fill out all the information. You won't be able to save that form unless you fill out the minimum required fields. But after you've done that and you hit save, that record will be created. So you will be therefore creating brand new records in the system. When you are looking at your filters, you will have the opportunity to see all available filters that you can use. You can turn these on and filter the data using those filters, and you can fill in default values that you want to filter by. And I'm going to demonstrate this for you so it makes a little bit more sense. But you're able to add as many filters as you want and apply some, all, or none of those filters when you are trying to sort your data to show only the relevant records that are important for you to look at in that moment. When you set up these filters, these are just your filters. A different user who doesn't want those filters will have the choice to make their own filter set. Okay, let's actually demonstrate this for you so you can understand what I'm talking about in terms of customizing the extranet for your own personal needs. So let's go to the profile icon and let's look at our contacts. We can see, again, I have no filters applied right now, 0 filters applied. But I did add a couple of filters that let me filter the data by a specific filter. So in this case, this filter, which I added as a user, allows me to filter my records to only show just my primary contacts. And that reduces the grid. I'm now shrinking the information to only look at those contact records that I feel are particularly important or the ones I want to focus on. I can clear those filters and then get the complete list of records. But what if there's another filter I want to use to apply to get a different result of records in the grid? You're going to go to the gear icon here, which is really a link. And that is going to let you choose additional filters. So let's say I wanted to filter also by the let's say title. So now I'm going to be able to use the title field to enter a value to filter my records. Now I have to click apply changes for that filter to be added to my filters section. Now that I've done that, I can now type in a value here that I can use to filter my records. I apply my filters, and now only one record is displayed in my grid view. The manage filters I can also set the default value. So the default value is supposed to be this value when I apply it. So now that is the default value. If I'm navigating to another section of the extranet and then I come back to my contacts, that is my default filter. So therefore, this is my default view of my grid. I can clear those, but that'll always be the default whenever I come back to this section. If I decide I don't want that filter anymore, I simply go down, remove it, apply my changes, and now that filter is gone from my filters. Now I'm looking at this information, all of these records in my grid, and I'm realizing I'm missing some information that I want to see about these contacts. For example, I want their phone number in the grid so that I can quickly call Colleen or call David or call Joe. When that happens, I'm going to want to click on this gear icon, and I'm going to want to identify any of the other columns that I want. So I want the phone number to also appear in my grid. So I've selected phone number, and now I apply my changes, and now phone number appears in the list. By the way, these column headers are also, you're also able to sort the data by these column headers. So if I click on the name, now I have by first name in alphabetical order all of my contacts. Now, the phone number field is over here, so that's good. So Colleen's phone number is right here. But what if I'm not satisfied with that? What if I want the phone number to be right next to Colleen's name? You can make that adjustment as well. You click on the gear icon, you go to the ordering tab, and you now are able to reorder the phone number field by dragging it so that it's next to the name of the person. So that mouse changes to a 4-pointed arrow, and I'm able to drag and drop that column into the right order, the proper order, the order that I want them in. I'll apply those changes. And again, this view is only available to me in my session of the extranet. If you have a coworker who prefers the phone number at the end of the grid, they can keep it that way or not even show the phone number field. That's up to every individual user. So just keep in mind, these gear icons are your opportunity to adjust your filters, adjust your columns, and adjust your column orders so that the data is presented in the way that you like to see it. All right, let's move on to the collateral section. This is where you're able to identify your listing or your description of your business that's going to populate on the website. So the collateral icon is going to display listings and media images that are associated to the listing, and you're able to upload those two records in this section. Now, these options are available to you, but the content will not display on the website until the Greater Merrimack Valley team has reviewed and approved those changes to flow to the website. This is a very fast process. You make the change, you add the collateral, and that information is instantly updated in the Greater Merrimack Valley CRM. The Greater Merrimack Valley team is notified. Now, they're notified, but if they don't have time to look at that notification, they're busy doing other things, they're not going to immediately jump on that record and review it for approval for the website. But once they do approve it, within about an hour, those changes are going to display on the website. So it's pretty fast. I mean, it could be that you notify, you make the change, they're notified, they approve it 2 seconds later, and within an hour, those changes you've made to your listing are now appearing on the Greater Merrimack Valley website, promoting your business exactly how you want it promoted. When you are looking at the listing, remember you're going to want to have two versions of your listing, the one for the website and the one for the printed guide. But again, you're going to be able to see those listings in this grid view, and you're going to be able to focus on the listing that you need to review and or update or just review. When you go to those various sections of the record, right, you're going to be able to see those areas, know what it is you need to add and fill in or edit or update. And then remember to hit save. You've got to be able to save those records before those changes are saved and before Greater Merrimack Valley is notified and before that record, that mirror record in their CRM is updated. And with your listings, remember we have two versions. We have the website for promotion on the Greater Merrimack Valley website, and we have the printed version. That's going to be a smaller version, right? We only have so much room on the printed guide. So that's going to be a more compact description of your business. But you're going to want to create both listings, or you're going to want to review both, the one for the website and the one for the printed guide that comes out at least annually, right? So when you add that information, keep in mind there's two there for you to look at. You'll also see a list of assets or a list of images that you're able to associate to each of those listings. In some cases, you might have an image with the printed guide, or you don't have any images, or you only have a logo. But you will have the ability to upload those assets and associate them to whatever respective opportunity is afforded you in either of those types of listings, either the website or the printed guide. When you're in the media section, this is where you can see a list of all of those assets, and you can add new assets. So here's your important takeaway from the media section. Again, you're going to see a grid of those records. The thumbnail is going to let you identify what is associated to what listing. And you're going to be able to upload new images or drag and drop those images from your hard drive onto the extranet, and those will be added. Now, keep in mind when you upload assets, make sure you have permission to let the Greater Merrimack Valley team use that image in perpetuity for their marketing promotional purposes. If you hire a professional to take pictures, make sure they understand you'll be using these images for your business, your website, but also the Greater Merrimack Valley business and the Greater Merrimack Valley website. This Convention and Visitors Bureau is seen as a separate business by professionals, right? They're separate from your business. So if the photographer thinks they are due additional licensing or fees to make that asset available on the Greater Merrimack Valley website, then definitely have that conversation and get permission, or don't share that particular image with Greater Merrimack Valley because they are not allowed, right? So just make sure you have permission, make that part of your mission. And here's the other thing I'll say. This is a wonderful world we live in here in 2023, where our smartphones take amazing pictures, highly detailed, large image files that are very detailed. So with your smartphone, you can take amazing pictures. There's a couple of tutorials online that you can find that'll just tell you, how do you light a subject? What time of day is the best time of day to take a picture outdoors? How to frame the picture. There's some very simple tricks and techniques to make sure that you take a good picture. And then it's your asset that you're uploading. And then you, of course, are giving it to Merrimack Valley to use to promote your business on their website. So let's show that. Let's demonstrate that. So I'm going to the collateral section, I'm viewing my listing records, right? I chose listings here. And now I can see my listing that I have. This is the printed guide, but I still need to add my listing for the website. So I'm going to click to add listing, and I'm able to now fill out the required fields, identify myself as the point of contact, put in the description, so all of my glorious detail that I want to be part of the website. I can even hide the address on the website if I don't want my address published. If you're a food truck or a person who's running their business out of their house, you don't want people showing up at your house asking for food or trying to purchase that product that you generate, because this is your personal home. So you can hide that information with a simple click of a button. Again, you're going to fill out this information. You can attach your assets or select your assets to go with that, and then save. Then that record will be created and it'll be listed here in the grid. For your media, again, we are able to add the media images that are associated to our property. So if you have a picture of your property, we can add that. So I'm able to fill in my title. Give it a type. And then browse that image to attach it. So let's say you had a plate of food that you wanted to promote at your restaurant. This is a meal that you can actually purchase at your restaurant. And so we would find that image of that food, and we would select it to attach it to our listing. Or we had a poster because we're going to have a concert at our property. Or we have any number of items that we would identify. So we would select it, and then we could attach it. And this one doesn't meet the minimum requirement, so I need to find a different value. So this one meets it. There's the image I want to do. There's the entrance to my restaurant, and I can enter that detail and then save that record. Now that image is uploaded here, and it's visible for me in my asset library to see that image. I know that this image is associated to my listing for my website, so I can select that from this dropdown and make this image associated to that website listing. And Greater Merrimack Valley is aware that I've uploaded this image because they've been notified. As soon as I save that record, they've been notified there's a new asset available for viewing inside of their CRM software. All right. Again, they would have to approve that update to your listing before that image would be associated with that listing on the Greater Merrimack Valley website. But they have that process in place because they're being notified when you're uploading these new assets. All right. Now I'm going to talk to you about service requests. These are opportunities that Greater Merrimack Valley is going to provide to you that you can bid on. Now, the Greater Merrimack Valley team might also be sending you referrals. This could be a business-to-business referral, or you could have visitors in the destination asking for a business that provides the service that your business provides. In that case, Greater Merrimack Valley can actually send a physical copy of your listing to that individual. It's not a guarantee that they're going to come patron your business, but at least we've provided that. But if there is an actual opportunity or lead for you to respond to and bid on an opportunity to serve that client, that's going to be found here in the opportunity section. When you select the opportunity section, you're going to see a grid of all of those opportunities that Greater Merrimack Valley has sent your way. You're going to see all of the different detailed information about what is being requested and see if you can actually respond to and provide that service. If you're too busy or you don't have the availability to actually provide that service, just be sure to go in and mark that you are not pursuing that opportunity and put in your comments. That way, the Greater Merrimack Valley knows immediately, again, in real time, that you're not pursuing this service request or this lead. If you do pursue the lead, you can put in all your answers, respond, what's your pricing, what's your availability, attach a file if there's a contract you need to attach, or there's a menu that you need to attach, or there's a PDF you need to attach. We can include that information. It's part of the service request record. Click update, and now that partner would receive that, Greater Merrimack will receive that information, and they can share it with the vendor who is requesting that particular service. So what that looks like here under the opportunity section is if we go to service requests, we're able to now see the grid of the available requests for services, view the detail, and again, if you don't have time, then simply respond at minimum that you are not pursuing this opportunity. And then we're able to update that record. Now, in real time, Greater Merrimack Valley knows you're out of the running and they're not going to present you as a potential vendor to this outside agency looking for that service from your company. But if you do pursue that opportunity, again, that's a real-time update. Greater Merrimack Valley is able to send that collected information along with your attachments, along with your updates to that record, to that meeting planner, tour operator, whoever it is, and they are able to make a decision and then award that opportunity to you. At that point, if you win the bid, you'll be contacted by that meeting planner, tour operator, and you guys can work out the details. If you aren't selected, you'll also be able to come here to your opportunity section and service requests and see whether or not that you've won that opportunity. Now, one more thing just to help you. We talked about this quick search is a really powerful tool. This particular lead has a request ID number. And what you can do with the quick search is you can simply enter that ID number. So if you are notified by the Greater Merrimack Valley that there is an opportunity for you to respond to, you can see that notification. And rather than navigating to the opportunity section and going to your service requests and looking at your grid and responding to the appropriate one, you can simply come to the quick search, enter in that lead ID number. Oops. And then you'll see that record found, and you can select it, and it'll take you directly to that page so that you can review and respond. All right, just a couple more things to show you, and these are really short things, so we're just about finished. The report section. This is a place where the Greater Merrimack Valley can provide you with what we call a dynamic report. If they do provide a report and make it available to you, when you go and you open that report, it's going to show you the current data as of the last upload of that report. So you could go back to that same report tomorrow and get actually a different set of data. So it just depends on what they've set up for you to view. The other thing that Greater Merrimack Valley can do is they can attach a partner bulletin as a report. So rather than seeing the report in partner bulletins, in the report section, you can see a static PDF document, so not dynamic, but a PDF document of a report. So this is good information that could be made available to you in this section. We don't have too much information in there right now because we're still trying to figure out what we want to share and when we want to share it with each of the businesses in the destination. So look for this area to maybe contain some more information down the road. So again, we go to the reports section and we see all of the available reports that are available to us. Either the dynamic reports, the ones that are going to change every time not every time, but the data is automatically updating, and that link is taking us to that updated data, or a static report, just a simple PDF that we can view and review the information. Last but not least, we have your help section. So if you are struggling, if you're having any problems, and you're needing to reach out to Greater Merrimack Valley, if you click on the click here to contact us link, that's going to open up your default email provider and let you email the team at Greater Merrimack Valley. You can put in your issue, request the help that you need, and they will receive that information and they will be able to get back to you. So that just looks like this on the screen. When you select it, again, it opens up your default email, and then you're able to complete your communication and share that information with Greater Merrimack Valley.